Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. This is part 2 of whole wheat bread with flax. You need 2 tablespoons of melted butter, which I'm doing. Now, yesterday evening you put your second flour and water mixture, and now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of, it should have risen. It's got a slightly dry top. Don't worry about it, we're going to stir it right back in. You need 2 tablespoons of sugar. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of salt. One minute, please. Okay. And you are going to need 3/4 of a cup of cold water. When you've got enough butter melted, and there's some small pieces in there melting, just take it off the burner though. The heat of the melted butter will take care of it, so you don't have to worry about it. I only used water, so I'm not going to wash it again. Okay. Pour 2 tablespoons of melted butter in here. Stir it down and start mixing it. Very shortly I'm going to be going into my European breads and how they bake. So I've been building you up to that point for people who don't know how to make their sourdough and they know how to make regular bread. I'm walking you through these steps. And for those of you that have already made their sourdough, I'm showing you the different breads. Now when we go into the European breads, you're going to need specific equipment, and I will be showing you that and why you need it. And we'll get those European textures and stuff. Now, the only thing we're not going to be able to do is to get the flour, because each region, the germ, when it's planted in the ground, has a combination of certain minerals and stuff, which gives each bread in a district in France different flavors. And it should be in our country as well. So where your flour is grown changes the texture, or the taste, I should say, of your breads. And this is why people, when they go overseas, they love those different breads, and they go into different little areas, province in France, and they get these different cultures. But in our country, they grow on a massive level in just one area, so we always end up with the same flavor of the wheat germ. I mean, not the wheat germ, of the germ. Hold on, I'm going to have to pin my hair because I know I don't want hair in my bread. See, if you leave your hair down and you're cooking, you'll end up with hair falls out. Normally it sheds just like animals shed their fur and stuff, and birds their feathers. So we have to be aware that when we bake, you should have your hair pulled back or pinned up or something for this one reason. And that's why if you go into a restaurant, they should have their hair in nets when they're handling food back there. Even the men, if you have chefs and they're males, even they are supposed to cook with a net over their head. That is to contain it. And with all that caution you do, sometimes you still find it. But anyway, they go through the process. Women who had really long hair before, they sat there and they had all their hair pulled up. And they wore those little caps around the house to keep their hair clean. As you can see, I'm adding flowers. Now some of those sourdoughs that we'll be making from Europe can be used by machine as well. You can use a bread machine. Well, they use a mixer. They don't say a bread machine. I don't know how a bread machine would work. Now, I'm going to bring you over here so you can actually see the movement for people who do not make bread. The movement that I'll be showing you kneading is, no matter what kind of bread you make or rolls, if there's yeast, this is the motion you have to make to knead it. So I'll bring you over here so you can see this for people who do not know how to do this. Though I explain it, I'm sure some people need to see it. Now you've poured this on a bed of flour, right? I'm gonna have to turn you a bit. You take it like this, you fold it over, turn it at the same time and press down. Turn it and press it, and this is how you knead. And you keep on doing this and it'll take the flour up into it. This is the action of kneading. And if you don't knead enough, your bread will be heavy. I can say when you're angry and you make bread, believe you me, it does take the tension out. And as you do this, it's going to be absorbing this flour. You keep pushing it under it. And you will notice it will absorb it and it will get smooth and elastic as you do it. So you keep this up. I'm going to keep this up until I absorb all this flour. So I'll see you then. Okay, you're going to need 1 pound loaves. I think that's pans. I think that's 8.5 by 4.5. Now these particles you see here, this is developing. As I knead this, you'll notice you'll see little particles, but you'll see flour in between it. You keep on kneading. The particles won't be picked up. They actually stay separated, but it keeps on picking the flour up until finally you just have the particles and you just push those to the side. It's actually just thin layers of dough and stuff that just don't come up and mix with the bread. And you'll see it. That's why I came to this point to show you so you could see it. So you can still see it's picking up flour, but the particles it won't. And see how smooth the bread is? It's really getting nice. Well, I should say the dough. See, these are particles. You just push them to the side. We don't need those anymore. Now you're going to either pinch or cut this bread in half, dough in half. Keep on saying bread because I'm making bread. Try to get them the same size. I never do, but I do try. I'll show you how to shape a loaf now to get into your pan. Take it and you just start rolling it up, rolling it up, rolling it up. Pinch it. Make sure you seal these. If you don't, they'll come undone. See? Seam side down. And you lay it in your loaf pan, see? Do you see how smooth and elastic the dough is for the bread? It's a good texture. Sort of like a rectangle that we're doing. If you want to shape it up like that, you know. Take it and you just roll it up. And pinch those seams. See, the seams are on the bottom. Check them, make sure they're sealed. If they're not, pinch them again. Roll them very lightly. You got them. Put it in your bread pan. They'll look just like that. Now, we have to let those rise because this is sourdough. They're not going to rise in like the 30 minutes or 1 hour. They take longer. Just be patient. We need to get it 1 inch above the rim. And when I say the rim, I mean the top here. Okay, it'll fill out this way and then it'll come up. Now sourdough, because it grabs all those microbes in the air, you do not have to cover it. When we make regular bread with the yeast that you buy in the store, cover it up so it doesn't dry out. Okay, so I will see you when it's time to go in the oven.